And welcome. I'm going to be speaking today about emergency management and specifically grant funding. Up on the screen is today's agenda. I'm going to go through it rather quickly. I don't want to spend a lot of time here. I'm just going to jump right in. A little bit about me. My name is Rebecca. I am the operations manager and a 911 professional at Charlottesville UVA Albemarle Emergency Communication or 911 Center in Charlottesville, Virginia. I have my bachelor's of science from Indiana State, and I'm currently working on my master's of public administration. On the screen, you'll see a bunch of certifications that I have, and I want to make special note to the NIMS or ICS, National Incident Management System courses. And then all the way at the bottom, in additional skills, I am a part of TERT, Telecommunicator Emergency Response Team, and I'm considered a subject matter expert. And in addition to that, I am the International TERT Committee Chair. So in 2016, I embarked in this career as a 911 professional. I got really excited and I became really passionate about it. I wanted to see the industry change. I wanted to help manage emergencies, not only local and personal emergencies, but large-scale disasters as well. So on the screen here, there's just some pictures of me out educating the community and helping them prepare. And then the top right one is actually a TERT deployment that I was involved with. So when we're talking about emergency management, we must know what kind of emergency managers are involved with. The Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA, is in charge of disaster relief and management on a national level in the United States. The National Incident Management System, or NIMS, provides models for public safety agencies and departments to follow when they're creating their own disaster plans. NIMS documents and analyzes these things. They make recommendations for future improvements, and it all works under the structure of incident command systems. These types of managers, they develop incident action plans, and there are some common events that require this sort of management. So first we're going to take a look at natural disasters and then human-caused or man-made. So if we're looking here, some natural disasters might include avalanches, blizzards, could be earthquakes, hurricanes, tsunamis, volcanoes, even wildfires, and then those man-made or human-caused disasters can include terrorist attacks or pandemics, could be grid failures, even human stampedes and explosions. So these local emergency management agencies, or EMAs, they usually have emergency managers who are responsible for some things. One of the things that they're responsible for is mitigating and or reducing the risk of local disaster. So they take a lot of data, they observe, and they try to figure out how they can reduce the risk of local disaster and reduce that impact on the community. They also prepare for local disasters, and they spend a lot of time educating the community about how to be prepared. When these disasters strike, emergency management, they help respond, they set up response, and then they spend time managing those local disasters. And one of the more important things that they do is they help their community recover from this catastrophic event. So again, here we have emergency management. They're kind of the middle of this. They work towards prevention or mitigation. They help prepare if it does happen or when it does happen. They help set up response and then recovery. So how can emergency managers locate grants and be successful in grant writing or finding grant proposals? Honestly, I would say look around, ask around. There's a lot of folks that have a lot of experience in this. Reach out to your local emergency people. Look online, ask surrounding counties, ask your neighbors. But when you decide on a grant and you want to go through the process, you can actually visit grants.gov, and there's a lot of how-to. So I have a snapshot kind of their website here, and you can learn how to apply, You can look for basic grant writing tips. All of these things become very important. But when you decide on a grant, as an agency, you should consider a clear and inspiring vision and grant objectives that should be uniquely tailored to the community needs. So this is going to require an insightful blend of innovation and practicality, and these strategies are both forward-thinking and grounded in achievable goals. So ultimately, the proposal should exude a sense of organizational identity and purpose, and ultimately resonate with Goodsell's notion of mission mystique, that a strong mission can galvanize and unify any organization. So the grant that I'm talking about today is specific to emergency management. Now that we know what emergency management is, what these folks do, I want to talk about the Emergency Management Performance Grant. Now this is a federal grant and it is offered annually. In fact, in the fiscal year 2023, the federal government allocated $355.1 million just specific to this program. Now there are some things that an agency must do. There's 6 parts to the National Preparedness System that are the requirements to be eligible for this grant. So the grant is open to local, tribal, territorial governments, and it's all in the face of these diverse hazards. But really what they're trying to do is provide pivotal funding opportunities specifically tailored to bolster resilience and readiness, and it can be used for all sorts of things, whether it be technology or community engagement or just anything that would be preparatory for an emergency or disaster situation. So the National Preparedness System, they say that there's 6 things that you must do and that must be included. One is identifying and assessing the risk, estimating capability requirements, building and sustaining these capabilities. What's the plan to deliver? How do we validate it? And then can we review and update and get better? So if we're looking to be successful with this Emergency Management Performance Grant, or EMPG grant program, that allocation of funds is more than just a financial provision. It's an integral part of a larger national strategy to build a cohesive, well-coordinated emergency management system. So in the context of this grant specifically, it serves as a cornerstone for local governments seeking to strengthen their emergency preparedness and response framework. We're talking about mission, management, funding, and preparedness, and so a clear sense of mission is crucial for securing grant funding, especially from programs like EMPG. This clarity helps align the agency's objectives with the goals of the grant and such goals of the National Preparedness System. Having a well-defined mission, as Goodsell suggests, ensures that the proposed activities and strategies are directly relevant to the grant's objectives, increasing the likelihood of approval. It also demonstrates a focused approach towards emergency management, which is a key criterion for such grants. So we're going to want to develop a clear mission and ensure it aligns with the grant requirements. We want to prepare ideas for training or equipment or technology changes, and then we really want to decide and act on an implementation strategy. These things are going to be imperative for the success of this grant. When we're looking to mission mystique, there's 9 things that we are looking to see. So if we're trying to make sure that we're a mission mystique organization and we're really trying to lock in on this grant funding, we're going to want to have clear direction. We're going to want to know the importance of our agency. We're going to want to share that sense of purpose, dedication amongst our coworkers, our peers. We're going to want to build community, be present in community, have a good identity and dissent, take up some policy space, but also have a plan for sustainability. As with any system, there is interconnectedness, and this is true of traits in the mission mystique belief system. So when applied to the context of Emergency Management Performance Grant, or EMPG, Goodsell's insights can be particularly illuminating. A clear sense of mission is crucial for securing funding from programs like the EMPG, as it aligns an agency's goal with the objectives of the grant. Good Cell's mission emphasizes that a well-articulated mission is not only directed at an organization's efforts, but also towards the relevance and community and commitment among its members. So for people seeking this EMPG grant, it means demonstrating a focused approach to emergency management, to focused approach about preparedness, and this is all essential to the grant's objectives. Good Cell's concept of mission mystique suggests that the agency should be imbue for their proposals with a sense of dedication, a unique vision, aligning closely with this national preparedness goal. This approach will not only increase the likelihood of securing funding from the EMPG, but also contributing to building a resilient and prepared emergency management framework. I apologize, I was having some technical difficulties there. One thing I wanted to mention on the previous slide was that those photos are specific to Indiana Task Force 1, and they have been deployed. I've worked with many of those folks. The lady there with the dog, that's actually my friend, and so along with them deploying TERT, that telecommunicator emergency response team that I was speaking about early on in the presentation, that also deploys to these disaster type situations. This grant funding that the federal government provides, also state government provides, helps these people go and be deployed and be financially stable when they come home from deployment. So about grant administration, once the grant is secured, the principles of mission mystique should guide its administration. This encompasses the steadfast focus on enhancing emergency preparedness and resilience, embedding the mission into every aspect of the project execution. It involves creating an organizational culture that's deeply committed to the principles of emergency management and marked by continuous adaptation and innovation. Once this funding is received, the elements of a mission mystique or Good Cell's mission mystique are necessary for proper administration of this grant. It means maintaining clear focus on the goals, enhancing emergency preparedness and resilience, ensuring that every action taken and every resource allocated is in service of an agency or company or business of their mission. And so this also involves fostering a culture within the agency that's deeply committed to the principles of emergency management. It could be encouraging continuous learning. It could be adaptation and innovation. But here, Good Cell's concept of mission mystique aligns with the need for agencies to not just implement strategies, but to live and breathe their mission. And this creates a pervasive sense of purpose that then permeates through all levels of the organization and beyond. So furthermore, just specific to this grant, the importance of external funding like the EMPG grant program in the realm of local emergency management in the U.S. cannot be overstated. I mean, such funding is so critical in providing these essential resources that enable local governments to develop comprehensive emergency plans. It's an investment in critical infrastructure, in changing and evolving technology, and it's imperative to conducting training for these people who get deployed, such as Indiana Task Force 1. Not only does it fortify immediate crisis response capabilities, but it also contributes to this long-term resilience and the preparedness of communities. So again, when we're administering these grants, we want to maintain clear goals, foster this culture of commitment. We're going to conduct training. We want to develop, obtain, provide, and then share these resources. So really, when it comes down to funding, external funding is so important in this idea of emergency management. We don't want to miss these funding opportunities. There's 4 main types of federal grant funding: competitive, formula, continuation, and then pass-through funding. But these external funding sources, whether it be grants or donations or whatever the case might be, It's undoubtedly significant. This external funding provides essential resources that many local governments might otherwise lack. This funding enables them to implement comprehensive emergency management plans and invest into the necessary technology and infrastructure, as well as conduct these training and preparedness exercises. It's particularly crucial in the context where local governments face diverse and increasingly complex emergencies. This funding not only enhances the capacity of local agencies to respond to immediate crisis, but also contributes to building long-term resilience and preparedness. The availability of external funds is not just a financial boom, but it's a critical component in bolstering the overall emergency management ecosystem, not only at the local level, but echoing into the national objective and this idea of building a secure and resilient nation. So really, in conclusion here, the EMPG program, it is a great program. It's federally funded, though its substantial funding and alignment with national preparedness goals, through its substantial funding and alignment with national preparedness goals, coupled with the application of an agency's mission, that mission mystique principle, it plays a critical role in strengthening this idea of emergency management and the emergency management capabilities at local, state, and federal levels. It encapsulates a strategic and holistic approach to building more prepared, more resilient, and a more secure nation where local governments are not just recipients of funds, but active participants in a nationwide effort to enhance this emergency readiness and response. So I just wanted to say thank you so much for listening today. Again, my name's Rebecca. I put my contact information on the screen here, and if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Just some other things here on the screen. You have the TERT initiative and NENA and APCO. It's a combination of those two agencies that write the standard for that. And then I have some references listed there as well. Thanks so much.